As we wrap up this year's Earth Week, we now take you to Ocean Cay in the Bahamas. It was once a dumping ground, but it's now been transformed into a marine reserve, and the group behind it is a cruise line. Ines De La Cuetara has tonight's prime focus for us.
It may look like paradise. White sand beaches, swaying palm trees.
That's beautiful.
And the bluest waters you've ever seen. Under the sea, thriving endangered reefs and a lush marine ecosystem. But Ocean Cay wasn't always like this. After years of sand mining, the Bahamian island had become a wasteland on the brink of environmental disaster. Until the Mediterranean Shipping Company, known as MSC, one of the world's biggest cruise and cargo ship operators, and the MSC Foundation spent $500 million to rehabilitate the island, transforming the site into a nature preserve for their cruise ship guests to enjoy. Workers spent months pulling out all the metal, derelict machinery, and debris left behind. The project is the brainchild of MSC's executive chairman, Pier Francesco Vago.
This is something that has never been done before. My dream was not only to transform an island or to create a destination, but was to actually have an impact that was environmentally correct.
More than 75,000 indigenous plants, trees, and shrubs imported, the location for each carefully mapped out.
We have a server with the GPS, and he have the design drawing on his GPS.
This part here has been completely man-made, but it's part of their efforts to try and reestablish diversity on the island. They now have iguanas, turtles, and all sorts of fish coming to live here.
This is what we suspend in the water.
Owen O'Shea leads the marine project on the island. He shows us the coral trees they're using to help rebuild the reefs, because the crown jewel of their restoration efforts actually lies beneath the surface. Coral reefs not only provide barriers from large storms and swells, protecting low-lying nations like the Bahamas, they're also key for biodiversity. An estimated 25% of all marine life depends on coral reefs. But already, scientists estimate roughly half of the world's reefs have died since the 1950s. Up to 90% could be lost by 2030 due to global warming, pollution, and overfishing. In their coral nurseries, O'Shea's team has been working to identify corals that are resilient to warming water temperatures.
What we're doing is selecting for the corals that are still thriving in the face of these challenges.
Their efforts now being celebrated by oceanographers around the world, with Mission Blue, an alliance of ocean conservation groups, designating Ocean Cay as a hope spot.
Certainly, Ocean Cay is one example where already there is improvement because of actions, the interventions by MSC.
It's recognition that's not typically associated with the cruise and shipping industry, often slammed by conservation groups as a catastrophe for the planet. According to a recent study published in the Marine Pollution Bulletin, a large cruise ship can have a carbon footprint greater than 12,000 cars. There's also the issue of waste dumped into the sea in the form of oil, sewage, or plastics, while noise pollution can have a major impact on marine wildlife.
Every vessel powered by fossil fuels is making a contribution to the warming of the planet. And the cruise lines, along with everybody else, they're part of it.
That's one of the cruise ships down there. You can see how massive it is. More than 5,000 passengers on board, and they come here 7 days a week.
In its cruise ship report card, the NGO Friends of the Earth giving MSC and other cruise companies failing marks when it comes to protecting the environment. MSC telling us in a statement, the cruise industry as a whole has committed to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Achieving our environmental targets is not something that the industry can do alone. We need governments, ports and destinations, fuel suppliers, shipyards, regulators, and suppliers to continue to collaborate together.
So MSC spent $500 million to rehabilitate this island. I think the big question is why? Why is MSC doing this?
This is a company that has made its name building ships and embracing our oceans. So it's very fitting that they would invest so heavily in projects and restoration efforts to promote that idea of reversing declines. We all have a responsibility as citizens of planet Earth.
This, as research and polling shows consumers are demanding corporations take responsibility for the environmental impact of their business actions.
I think they should do, yeah. Especially like a big company like this one, I think they should do that.
So that way it helps keep the oceans really nice and all the marine life really nice. So in order for us to keep enjoying it, if they can keep on to that, then I feel like it's important, yeah.
MSC's hope is that their Ocean Key Island will raise awareness and inspire others, both people and corporations, to take action.
We have the power to do something about it right now. We are doing something about it, and we need support and advocacy through guest engagement and education, having these conversations.